Let's Learn Japanese, course series for the self-study Japanese from basics and beginnings up to intermediate and hopefully advanced. I'm Nuke Marine. Alright, so I don't know if that timed it just right. So yesterday I did do I guess it was like a podcast of sorts with Yoga Matt, so Yoga MIA and Matt versus Japan, and we all three, technically Matt versus Japan and myself were the guests on Yoga. It was Yoga's podcast, so the Yoga Cast, I guess that was it. I guess the idea was that was meant to be it's normally as a Patreon only for the MIA Discord, so just patrons only. But yeah, I got the interview and I asked, like, can it be made public? Because since I don't like really Patreon exclusive stuff too much, but yeah, it's so yeah, if you get a chance, you can check it out. It's about an hour and a half or something of BS. We were mainly messing around. Don't think you're going to get anything serious out of it. But a few jokes are not a few jokes. Some of them are maybe a bit risque. But yeah, just essentially just three guys screwing around. So that means also I didn't do a live cast or live stream yesterday. I didn't do online studying, but I did take care of some stuff with Anki. May have made a mistake, I may not have, but that'll happen with the when we get into the reviews. Alright, so just to make sure, so today's going to be Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, as we've been doing, and up above is going to be playing the show, and off to the side will be the text that I'll be reading, and with a pop-up dictionary, so if I see something I don't know, I pause the audio and look it up, same as always, nothing amazing, nothing different there. I was thinking about it, and sort of what I'm doing here is what originally happened, when I accidentally discovered like what Subtitle S the benefit of Subtitle S could be. That was a program that takes subtitles and turns the subtitles into flashcards for Anki. And I did it for a few TV shows way back when, and I noticed when I was doing that, like my ability in Japanese was like shooting up real high, especially when I was listening, because I would put the audio of the shows that I had studied, and I was getting like comprehension of that audio was like so much higher than just the regular audio of the random Japanese I had in my my immersion loop of what it was. And I probably misunderstood. I probably interpreted it wrong. I thought, oh, that's meant that when I'm doing an Anki is working. And now, since I've been doing these Let's Reads, I realized what I had to do in Anki was I had to look up words to see what they meant. So I was doing that, which is what I'm doing in the Let's Read. What I then did with Anki, though, is that I was saving those cards and then studying those. So that was I was studying the drama. And that was actually a bad idea, because I was saving almost everything. And really, you don't want to do that, even if it's like an I+1. Not every I+1 sentencing order that you run across it is a good sentence to keep. But the reading over each line, looking up what each word meant in each line, that was actually beneficial. And it took a long time at that when I was doing it way back when. Like, I can now imagine, like, when you first start off, like right now it would take me, let's say, twice as much time to get through an anime. Like right now, if this anime I'm doing a Let's Read, it'll take me about 50 minutes, 40 to 50 minutes, and it's about a 20-minute anime. Same thing with dramas and with books. Now thinking about, probably back then it would have taken maybe 5 times or 10 times as long. So if it's a anime, maybe just doing the Let's Read like I'm doing, where you're looking up everything you don't know, which obviously is going to be a lot if you're just starting. Let's see, if you just around the N4 equivalent, which is you've got your 2,000 to 3,000 words under your belt, and you've got basic grammar under your belt. So if you're doing that, then yeah, like, you're looking up everything, but fine, go with it. You get better and better. So even if start doing it, and don't worry about how much it takes. So it might take you longer, and you first start off to get through this, 10 minutes or 20 minutes of a show, or 40 minutes of a show, depending on if it's an hour-long drama. Go with it, and just have fun. That's, just make that kind of a daily ritual of read every day, and preferably read the audio. Read the audio, so that you're associating the correct pronunciation as much as possible to that text, and that's going to help you later on when you do get into the speaking aspect. Because that's another thing I noticed when I did this way back when, and even though I misinterpreted, but I did it way back when I was studying dramas and putting the audio and listening to it. Is like when I said stuff that I remembered that was in the audio that I was immersing in, of the stuff that I had studied, that sounded a lot more natural, like, than just trying to like piece together using grammatical rules, piece together something that that technically was grammatically correct as far as you understood the rules to be. So yeah, so again, that's the benefit of as you build up there. Now, what I'm trying to do is like I still want to do the studying, and I'm going to keep that up. But just make sure this whole reading every day. This is in a way this is studying. So if you do this like you're doing like reading it with active lookups, that's studying. If that's your study time, let that be your study time. You're going to get really good in the language over time. I mean, there's some benefits to what Anki brings to the table, so don't eschew that, if I use that word correctly, especially when it comes to kanji. But there is some benefits also where, especially with the tango decks, is that if you hear a word, do you know what kanjis go to that word? Like, you already know how to write the kanji because you got the Anki deck for remembering the kanji. Now it's like, do you remember what kanjis go to which word? All right, so you don't have to write out the word as long as you just know what correct kanjis go for that. So that's kind of like your spelling, the Japanese equivalent of spelling. And I think that's not a bad skill to have. Like, if I was trying to convince Matt and Yoga yesterday, it's like, knowing which kanji go into a word. If I said, if you're learning English and someone told you, well, don't worry about spelling in English, that sounds kind of stupid. They can say, well, you're always going to have spell check and you're always going to have spell check, so you don't. And yeah, that's true. But I think if you're going to spend some time learning English, part of English, the spelling, because of the complexity of, there is no complexity, it's just complete chaos of how English works. Knowing how to spell words, I think, is not a bad thing to know or to practice. And the practice can be as a part of just your vocabulary learning. So nothing complicated. And by the way, when I do that, the way I decided it on myself, so I'm not stressing it. Oh, my wife's getting ready for yoga. Since we got to do in the house, so she's going into the next room, so closing off the door, so I'm not bothering her. But yeah, just. So what I was meant is like what I'm doing is like I'm using it as a 6-month mark. So like, for example, I'm doing my vocabulary now. If I don't know what a word, what kanji went into the word, but I knew what the word means when I hear it, but I couldn't quite remember which kanji should go into it. I just mark it as hard. I don't miss it as mark it as hard, unless it's over 6 month spacing. If the spacing puts it over 6 months when I mark it difficult, then okay, I'm gonna miss it because it's like, okay, I don't want it to go too far out without that knowledge being solid in my head. But if it's under 6 months, it's like, okay, yeah, I can. I'm not gonna sweat it too much yet. I'll just mark it difficult. Similar when I'm going with the reading. If I'm reading a word, if I just look at the word and I don't know what the word means, but I know what the meaning is because of the context of the sentence, I'll probably, depending on the word, especially if it's a word that has kanji, the word, it should be obvious. And because obviously if there's just a hiragana katakana word, there may be many different words with that pronounced the same way, so you need the context of the sentence to bring that about. But let's just say, hey, you should have understood what the word meant just from looking at the word. Then yeah, I'll mark that difficult. Unless, again, if it's over 6 months, if I mark it difficult, but it'll put it spaced over 6 months, and it's like, okay, maybe I should just miss this and bring it back down a bit. So anyway, that's my way of tempering it. Like, I'm not making it like, oh, I gotta know which kanji go to which word. I need to know what a word means just by only seeing that word. I'm not stressing that. That's, again, so I'm using sentences, and I'm not too stressed about which kanji go to the word, but I'm making it part of my practice. Similar, like right now, I think with Matt Bonder, or Matt vs. Japan, like he's stressing pitch accent, so I'm sure, I don't know if he's missing words if he gets the pitch accent wrong, but he's making it part of his study. I'm not there yet. I'm not too concerned with it. Right now I'm just using, like, I notice what the pitch is, and I try to be aware of it. And, maybe it's kind of cool if I can, like, pick it out when I hear it. That'd be nice. And then that's just to make sure I'm just more aware that the pitch of a word is important. So I'm trying to notice it when I hear it, but I'm not testing myself on it. All right, and as you get more comfortable with Anki, you're going to study what you find important. Like for me, I live in Japan. I do think the ability to write Japanese there is some importance to it. But I'm not going to be handwriting papers every day. So I can't, I don't have the immersion that way to do it. So Anki is a way to get you the minimum amount necessary to have the equivalent of what a daily immersion would have brought you. So that is useful, and that's the usefulness of Anki. Yeah, different goals, different methods. And there's also a difference, like if you're constantly are immersing in Japanese, you probably don't need Anki as much. If you're reading every day, like what I'm doing here, like reading every day with lookups, I don't really need Anki all that much. The daily reading takes care of that. If I wasn't doing this every day, let's say I am a full-time working adult, Anki starts becoming very fucking important, because it's going to allow you to maximize the amount of time you're exposing towards it you might not know. All right, so that then whenever the time opens up for you to do where you can read a lot, you get to enjoy more from the reading. That's if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. That's where the strength of Anki is. That's why it's the spaced repetition. Help to minimize the amount of repetitions you need. Because if you're doing stuff naturally, the repetitions of a word is naturally spaced. This is the frequency list there when you think about it. But that also means if you don't have that as much immersion, let's say you're only doing a half-hour average a day, you're going to get 1/4 the exposure than someone who's doing this for 2 hours a day. And even less if, like I'm doing, this is the exposure of what I'm reading with lookups. A majority of what, then of course if you're reading more than that, and you're not doing lookups, then that's again a slightly different type of immersion. So there's studied immersion, so there's immersion with lookup. So if you see something you don't know, you look it up. So that can happen. Some people do it with video or audio. I do it with text. Really difficult for me to do it with audio. I just don't care about doing it. Then there's the immersion, but just regular immersion, active immersion. So you're just watching something for enjoyment. That's the best type. That's a really good type of immersion. You can do that for a lot. And then there's background immersion. That's just the stuff that's playing there, so it's always present and it's there for you to notice when you do notice it. Okay, so those are 3 levels if you want to. And really that one, reading with lookups or immersion with lookups, that's studying. It is studying. It's just that you're not worried about if you memorize something. You're just, here's something you don't know, you look it up, now you know it. You're going to forget it most likely, but if you get exposed to it enough times, maybe you'll remember it. All right. Talked enough on that. Let's get to the reviews. So if I bring up Anki, you've been following along, you probably noticed this number got really big real fucking fast, because this was down to 0. So now it's up to 900. Here's what happened. I was doing the whole idea like, hey, if a kanji spaced out over 6 months or a year or something, maybe I don't need to worry about it. And I thought about it. It's like, you know what? On my theory of handwriting, the only time I really am going to write something in Japanese is kanji, and that's during the reviews. I'm not going to be doing it as for fun on my off time. So what I do is like unsuspend those cards that I had suspended that were spaced out. So those cards are what you're seeing. That's hundreds of those. In addition to, I updated the sequence of the decks using that sort of tethered optimal order, tethered frequency. So a tethered frequency order. There you go. So here's the most frequent kanji based on scans of 5,000 books, and cool. But if a kanji is not in enough sources, then that pulls down its frequency ranking. That's all. So it's got to, not only does it got to be frequent, it's also got to be spread out among a bunch of other sources. That helps prevent like a kanji is just high up there because it was just happened to be in the name of a very popular character in a big series of books. Right. Same reason, like we're not worried about learning the word Gryffindor, even though I'm pretty sure Gryffindor is high up there on the rankings, but it only appeared in like 7 books. Okay, so that's why the source ranking is as important. So frequency, source. So overall, you get a nice spread of words. So it appears in more likely to appear in Japanese. How's that in the Japanese language? Cool. All right, and then the rest is just my stuff. So, and the expression thing, that's just me. I wanted to put the hiragana, katakana. I'm sorry, I wanted to put the pronunciation, the furigana, above all those top 6 words per. So I had to. that was a trip. Yeah, I had to Use Google Translate. That way I got English translation. Compared it against the core 10K deck, frequently top 6 words there. And if there was more words in the, if there was only 4 left, if there was only 3, 2 or 1 or none in the core 10K lit words that use that kanji, then, and there were more that was in the, I call the 40K list. Don't call it core 40K, it's just the 40K, it's just the top 40,000 words. Then I use the top 40,000 words. So that should become obvious when you see in the reviews. Alright, so let's get started. I'm just going to do kanjis today. Cool. I think kanji reviews are more fun for this stuff, because, okay, placement. Oh, this is one I kind of missed yesterday. I forgot to do the eye up above. So, okay, cool. There we go. Cool. Alright, so we got oku, okay, ichi, placement, position, sochi, measure a step, sechi, it's an equipment, right, establishment, installation, sochi, that's equipment device, so that's like what you wear, haichi, arrangement position, cool, okay, and let's give that a 3. Alright, war, kind of missed that, okay. Cool. This is sin. These are kanji I can, you know, if I had read it, it would have been no problem. Okay, senso, battle, sakusen, the battle plan, right? Tactic strategy. Tatakao, that's a fight, wage war. Tatakai, war, battle. Taisen, world war. Taisen. Chosen, that's a challenge? Yeah, challenge. Chosen. Okay, cool. And I'm just pressing 3, so you can see the spacing 7.8 months. So I did miss it, but it. I'm not going to see those in a long time. Okay, these are the gods. This should be Kami. Alright. Jin. Okay. Good. And, yeah. And I'm just reading the words real quick. Jinja. Okay. Kami. Seishin. Okay. Kami-sama. Shinkei. Nerves. Shinto. Shinto religion. Ooh. Shinto religion. That makes sense. Way of the gods. Cool. Deep, fukai. I want to. That's search. Okay, it should be this one. Yeah. Okay, cool. So fukai, fukusa, depth. Shinkoku, serious grave. Fukameru, deepening knowledge. Okay, fukumeru. Okay, maru, deep, come deeper. And chui bukai, careful, chui bukai. I like that word. Cool. Dream, yume. This is one all the school children learn. Okay, good. You always see children learning kanji or shodo, they'll be practicing this as their yume, muchu, become absorbent, muso, daydream, akumu, bad dream, yeah, hatsuyume, oh, I like that, first dream of the new year, hatsuyume, that's cute. Karcher asks, is this RTK? Yeah, this is RTK, but I just adapted it. Like I added these additional top 6 words. And again, this is not to memorize the words. This is the words are used for context later. Yeah, 3.8 years. Yeah. So I won't see this kanji again in this deck for 3. I'm going to see it all the time. It's a very common kanji. Byoin. Okay. Okay, I think it's that one. Yep. All right. Cool. So it's byoki is sick. Byoin, that's a hospital. Okay. Byonin, sick person. Kanja. Kanbyo, that's different. Okay. Look after a sick person. Kanbyo. Byoshitsu. Well, hospital room and okubyo. Okubyo, cowardly. Hikimono. Okubyo. Cool. One side, that's kata. Yeah, so it'd be like kata ude or something, kata ashi, or kata, it's like one leg, one arm. This is why you see it on there. but there it is. Okay, cool. All right, so katazukeru, clear up something. Katamichi, that's a one-way street, right? One-way street. Katazuku, clear up, put in order. Katate, one-handed. Kataho, again, one way, one side of something. And atokatazuke, after you clean up, cleaning up. Okay, cool. Or clean, actually, it's like clean up after somebody. Warrior, so that's one arrow, stop. This is the Bu of Bushido. Yeah, so this is another popular kanji. Yeah, there we go. One arrow is enough to stop a warrior. Okay, so Buki is a weapon, Bushi is a warrior. Yeah, there we go. Buso is your armor, right? And then Budoku, military. Okay, military power. Not when you see in all these military anime. Cool. Reformation. So this is the Kai. Oh yeah. So this is I want to say. Okay, so it's the snake. So it's like Voldemort and I want to say Indiana Jones. The Reformation. Yeah, right there. Okay, Kaisatsu Juchi. That's like the ticket stall for the gate. Kaisei. Okay. Kaizen. Okay. Kaisatsu. That's Kaisatsu Guchi. Kaisatsu. Yeah. Kaisaku. Reform. And Aratamete. Once again, new. Cool. Let's see, Saku. Do you see use in having things have three? Not really, but you know what I said is like I'm not writing kanji anyway, so maybe if after 3.5 years I forget it, maybe it's good to like, oh yeah, let's put pen to paper again. That's all. This is, I'm usually not writing in Japanese. I'm not a person who writes Japanese by hand. So this is going to be the minimum amount of exposure to keep my writing up to speed when I do need it. Okay. And again, this is the reason why this stuff was, I had this suspended for a long time. You can already see I still memorized it, so it's not like this is difficult. So if I didn't make this available, it's not going to do me much harm. Okay. Okay, so this is Yurusu. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. God damn it. Okay. Horse, not well. There we go. Okay, so it's Yurusu, Minkyosho. Also, another thing, Saku, what I will mention is, because this is a new deck, maybe I kind of like the idea of looking like how effective is it. Like these words here. Like, how effective is it just looking at these words? Like, a lot of these words I know now, so it's kind of cool looking over it. And that as well. So, Yurusu, Minkyosho, Kyoka, permission, Minkyo, that's like giving authority or approval, license, there we go. Tokyo, patent, Tokyo. And Kyoyo, toleration. Nice. Discontinue, Spider-Man, I want to say it's in the winter. Yeah, I think it's sets. I think it's this one, Spider-Man in the winter. Nope. God. Oh yeah. Special rainbow colored issue. Okay. So like this one here, I caught a kanji that I didn't really know, even with looking at the example words. Zetsubo kills. Okay. So mark that as wrong. Voice. Koe. Say. Okay. Really bad, ugly writing, but there we go. The voice. Koe. Ogoe, loud voice. Nakigoe, crying voice. Hanashigoe, speaking voice. Waraigoe, laughing. And utagoe, singing voice. Yeah, so this is pretty obvious how the words work, right? Goe. And they don't, unfortunately, it doesn't have onyomi there, but again, I'm not doing this to give onyomi or kunyomi. If I wanted to, I can look in the, it says, hey, these are the top words that use that kanji. Yeah, it's unfortunate that say isn't part of it, but then there'll be other words that use say. You know, when that kanji with the say is used in. Yeah, so another word that's using voice kanji, but you're gonna need it because the other kanji in that word is gonna make it pop up. Anyway, sideways. This is Yoko. Oh, Yoko. This is Yoko of Yokosuka. Okay. The yellow school bus. hit a tree. So a tree fell over, the yellow school bus rammed into it, and fell sideways also. Yeah. Tree and school bus, yellow school bus. Yoko Odan Hodo, good word. Yokogaki, oh yeah, that's we had the vertical writing, Yokogaki. Yokogiri, Yokigiru, I think that should be cut across from something. Let's see, yeah, cut across. Odan, yeah, crossing, traversing. Yokogao, oh, that's like the, I want to say the side of the face, right? Yeah, side profile, yeah, Yokogao. Shadow, Kage, there's two types of shadows, so I want to say this is Egyo. There we go. Satsue. I want to say it's this. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, yeah. I'll mark it hard. I don't think. Anyway. Egyo. Okay. Satsue. Photograph. Kage. Shadow. Toe. Toe. Ooh, I like that. Omogake. Omokage. Figure. Hitokage. Cool. Alright. Abdomen. Fuku. Is it Hara? Okay, so that should be. Oh, this is I think it's this one. That's Do. No, this may be one. No. Sorry. There's two types. So yeah, this is where, because it's Fuku, that kind of, anyway. So I'll show you both, but I did both those, but yes, the second one because of Fuku, and so that's where this comes in handy. Like you can look at the example words, and if you've been reading a lot, learning a lot of vocabulary, even if the keyword is, sorry, if the keyword over there is like, is it stomach, is it abdomen, is it midsection, then yeah, this kind of clears it up. Onaka, hara, hara ippai. Okay, that's full stomach. Fuku, empty stomach, right? Okay, good. Okay, set free. Okay, so that's the Boy Scout that set in Indiana Jones Part 2, set Indiana Jones free. Yeah. Hanas. Alright, so whole soul, broadcast, kai ho. Okay, kai ho. Kai ho again. See, there's two words that are the same, right? Open to the public. Kai ho, horu. Fling throw. Hanasu, set free. And tsuiho, banishment. Ooh. Okay. Statue. Yes, it should be Batman and the Zo. So it should be that one. Batman and the pig statue, elephant statue. Yeah. Okay, so Zo, your imagination. Genzo, developing a film. Okay, Gazo, that's a projection, portrait. Okay. Eizo, image reflection. Gazo and Eizo. Gazo is more for a still image. Eizo is for a moving image. Guzo, accidental, idle. Ooh, idle image. Okay. Butsuzo. Oh, images of the Buddha. Butsuzo, makes sense. Okay. All right. Period. Key. Okay, so it's Kikan, Kitai. There we go. Easy one. Yeah, there we go. Kikan, Kitai, Jiki. That's a time season. Okay. Teikiken. That's a limited commuter pass. Yeah, Teikiken. Teikiken. Choki. Long time. Yeah, long period. And Tanki. Short period. Yeah, those are easy. And let's say you never even had this keyword here, right? Let's just say you only had these words. I think you can kind of get a gist as to what the meaning of this kanji is, how the flavor, if you will, even if you can't think of a good word for it. Back. Now, make sure this is like, say, naka, right? So, ura. So, okay. So there I just think of a little Doctor Who story of Tom Baker, Doctor Who, because he had the hat and the scarf, but it was actually a computer that was pretending to be him. Ura. Okay, anyway, ura, uragaesu. Go through the. It should be returned through the back, right? Turn over. Oh, uragaesu. Okay. Uragiru, that's to betray. Yeah. Uraguchi, that's the back entrance, right? And uragaeshi, inside out. So uragaesu, turn over inside out, like your shirt's inside out, and then uramon, back gate. Okay, cool. Stature, seinaka. Let's say, yeah, this might be the one where I might have, let's see, keep my sayings. Yeah, so this is like an example, like I'm drawing a blank on how to write this kanji, you know. Although if I see this as a word, I'm pretty sure I'd read it just fine, but now this one. Okay. North. Okay, yeah. All right, cool. All right, missed that. Cool. Leaf. That's ha. Really easy one. Yeah, there. Okay. Kotoba. Good. Ha's a leaf. Hagaki. Postcard. E hagaki. Another postcard. Happa. That's a leaf. And kotoba tsugai. Kotoba. Kotoba tsugai. It's your way of speaking, right? Word language. Okay, cool. Kurcher asks, how long would it take to do all 80 cards? I would do it faster, because this I would actually be doing in my head, because, you know, I don't really need to write these out physically. I'm really, because but I'm doing this for fun for the live stream, so it would go a lot faster. Like, I'd probably get, 100 done in half hour. And plus I'm stopping and talking, because I'm looking, and if I didn't look over these extra words, it would also go much faster. I'm just doing this for fun. Guard, Mamoru. Let's say, I think that's with dogs. Yeah, it feels like it's that one. Guard, dog. No, wait. Let's see. Nope, that was wrong. Let's say it's that one. Okay. Yeah. Kinda iffy. Mamoru, Usu, absent. Mimamaru. Mimamoru. Look after someone, right? Keep watch. Rusuban. That's your going or your away message. Rusuban. Oh, okay. Looking after house. Okay. Oshu. Conservation. Okay. And Shubi. Okay, cool. Mark that as difficult. Admonish. Okay. These are flowery phrases. Wait. Oh, yeah. Awesome words, admonish, that's right. These are the K of, this is the Satsu of Keisatsu. No, wait, I'm sorry. This is the K of Keisatsu. Right there. Okay, that's what I wrote before. That was a mistake. That was the awe. Awesome. So Keisatsu, cool. Keikoku, warning, admonition. Keikan, that's a guard, right? Police officer. Keikai, okay, visual con. Keiho, should be a warning, right? Alarm, warning, okay. And Keishicho, metropolitan police officer. Okay, I like that. We'll give it a. Okay, discontinue. So this is the one I missed earlier. So this is the Zetsu. So another. And I think, I'll be honest, like having this here, all the additional words, makes this a lot more fun to review kanji. Like, I think people, if you ask people who have been doing RTK, they fucking hate when it gets to older, because they start missing it because they can't remember anything from the keyword here. Like if I just saw it discontinued, I would get it wrong. But if you didn't tell them, oh, it's zettai, it's like, oh yeah, or zettai, because that's a very common word. Sorry, let me just show you. So yeah, I did get that. All right, so let's give that a 3 months. All right, number. Like you might mistake this because there's Kazu, so that one makes it easier. So it's Kazu. So it's Rice, Woman, and Indiana Jones. Okay. because you might think of that as that die like number, or is it bon like your turn? But anyway, kazu, suji, number, numerical, sugaku, mathematics, kazueru, counting, ninzu, number of people. Okay, fukusu, that's clothing. No, that's complicated numbers. Some and several. Fukusu, several. Cool. Yeah. Anyway, it's easy. Storehouse. So this is it's not kamakura. So this is the yeah. Reizouko. Okay, wait. So flower, march of gardeners. Okay. So you got to do a march of gardeners, or I'm sorry, a parade of gardeners. This is really ugly. Yeah. So okay, Reizou, that's a freezer. Oh yeah, refrigeration. Zo, okay, warehouse. Chozo, that should be a savings account, right? Storage. Okay, Chozo, storage. Musashi, that's got to be a name. Musashi is a name. Musashi no is a name, and Jizo is a name. Okay, and yeah, I do like including. Again, it's just one of the top 6 words. So outside these 3 words here, you're going to probably run into it as names of characters or people. Okay, cool. Actually, let me. It wasn't too comfortable with that one. Okay, ambition. So this is the dead king, dead flesh king. Okay. I think it's that. I probably got this wrong. So this is Kibo. Wait. Kibo. Yeah, it's this. Yep, there we go. Perished flesh. Yeah, the perished flesh do the ambitions. All the dead bodies do the ambition of the king. So that's why I was visualizing for the kanji. Anyway, kibo, hopes, wishes. Yobo, your dreams. Nozomu, your hopes and wants. Nozomashi, desire. Yokubo. Those are your. Oh, that's what you really want. Yeah, you crave. Shitsubo. This is when you lose a craving. Disappointment, loss of hope. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Plump. This is an easy one. Hutoi. Yeah, right there. There we go. So we got Hutoi, Taiyo, sun, oddly enough. Hutoru, to get fat, gain weight. And then Taiko, with taiko drums. So that's cool. Wish. Onegai. No, this is not negai. So this is, let's see, wait. Zannen. Kinenbi. Oh, wait, so this is. Oh, yeah, okay. The time for your more heartbeats. You wish for more time, or you wish for more love. How about that? Wishes. There we go. Zannen. Zannen Kinenbi. That's your birthday or anniversary of something. Kinen, commemoration. Gainen. What is that? General idea, concept. Shinen, conviction, belief, and then Ninen, concept, idea. Cool. We'll mark that difficult. Ride, Nodu. This is where you get the word for Jeep. So okay, cool. Nodu. Okay, cool. So we got Nodu, ride, take. Norugai, change ride. Norimono, your vehicle. Norigai, change vehicles, transfer. Noriokureru, being late to a ride, miss a train. Okay, and Ju shaken, that's your riding ticket, right? That's your, train ticket. Jo shaken. Joguchi. Okay, good. Side. Different a little bit. Sorry, so this is the SpongeBob SquarePants. I want to say Batman, SpongeBob SquarePants. Following the rules. You want to be at Batman's side, you got to follow his rules. How's that? Right there. Soba. Okay, so Uchigawa, inside, Migigawa, right side, Hidarigawa, left side, Sotagawa, outside, Mukogawa, on the other side of something, and Sokumen, side of something. There we go. Cool. Group. Oh yeah, that one's good. Easy too. Just the Fudon. Okay, cool. Okay. Futon. Okay, sleep on that every night. Dantai. That's a group, right? Group organization. Shudan. Group of mass. Okay. Shudan. Danchi. Area, right? Yeah. Okay. Housing complex. Danchi. Zabuton. That's like a cushion seat cushion. Kodan. Public corporation. Okay, cool. We'll go with that. Oh no! Press the wrong button. Suppose hit the space bar. Okay, quiet. Shh. So contend and blue. Blue-haired librarian. Oh no, blue and contend. I think of a scene from Monsters Inc. University where the blue-haired librarian, the little monster thing, was they had to fight against her to win the contest. Yeah. Oh, yes, helps if I show you. So right there. And you're probably not noticing or not, but I mean, let me just show you real quick. So it's just a habit of mine, but like where the little hooks are at, like here, kind of see a little hooks down there, or if it curves, I tend to do that automatically. Like I want to match what it should look like. Some people don't bother doing that. It just, I mean, it's useful to know that, like, and make it a habit. Like it's internal. I've internalized it so much I don't think about it. But yeah, it's just when it comes to writing kanji correctly, the hooks, or if it's a trail or where it curves, is important. Okay. You know, oh wait. Let me go back and look at that real quick. All right, so let's see. So we got Shizuka, it's quiet. Reisei, be calm. Shizumaru, quiet. Seishi, sense, okay. Ansei, quiet rest. Seijaku, quietness, cool. Okay, stature again, so this is the one I missed, so it's north. Like, put your back to the north wind. This stature, height. You can also your back to, there we go. Okay, so senaka, haikei, background. Okay, senaka, that's your back. Sebiro, business suit. Okay. Seo, that's carrying someone on your back, shoulders. And somuku, to rebel against someone. Cool. All right, awesome. Both. Oh yeah. The both was throwing me for a loop, but Yoho, yeah, that makes it more obvious. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my pen is ugly as heck. Okay, cool. Ooh. Okay, cool. Not very balanced, but oh wow, I've gone way over time. I apologize. Ryoho, Ryoshin, Ryogae. Okay, Ryoho, both Ryoshin, parents, Ryogae. Ryote, both hands. Ryogawa, both sides. Ryosha, both people, both parties. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of see that. Ryoshin is probably the most common you'll see. Ryogae, money exchange. Alright, cool. Alright, we'll call that a day for so whatever it was. There's 35 cards. That went very, 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 very slow. I could go a lot faster if I wanted to. And like I said, I'd probably be doing my head. I'd still want to look over the words because that's kind of cool. Like realizing like how many words I know using that kanji now. So that's fun. Obviously, I cap it at 6, or like ichi or ryo or kata. There's like many words that use that. Tsukeru, I mean, oh wow, that's just used in so many compound words. But yeah, it's just, it makes the kanji part kind of fun now that I just remember the longest time, like, the keyword was the thing that was making me miss it, and it was like such a pain in the ass trying to like add words that I think I knew, and so I just wanted that automated. And before I added words, but I didn't say what the words meant, and that kind of made it annoying because there were some words that I just didn't know, and seeing that what they mean now is like, oh yeah, that's kind of fun. And I'm not sweating it. I'm not memorizing the words. They're there for when I do learn words. Cool. Yeah, and like I said, I'm just gonna slowly go through this, like maybe 50 a day. You know, just I'm not in a rush. I'm just gonna slowly get it down to 0, because by the time this gets to 0, and I want to be up to 2,000 mind sentences from the Morphman thing. So I want this up to my number up. Right now I'm building up to 500. My goal is going to be 2,000 when I then start up on the Tango stuff. And when that happens, after I finish the Tango in2 deck and I'm up to, let's say, 8,000 or 10,000, I'm sorry, when the Morphman's up to like 4,000 or 6,000, I'm going to then add in another 500 kanji. So I'm doing this really slow and in a very controlled pace. I'm not sweating it, and I can do the Morphman part fast because part of it is like, again, this is words or sentences from stuff I've read and enjoyed. So picking that stuff up fast, it still takes time. I gotta sit down for like an hour or so trying to gather up the 20 total words, and then of course along with the reviews. But yeah, it's been pretty chill, all things considered. Like I'm finally got the Tango stuff down to 0 words, so that's why 30 is the new stuff. So yeah, just makes things easier now. Gods. Let's start reading. Should be on 17. Cold Flame. Yeah. Reitetsu na hono Reitetsu na hono. Alright, we're starting at 142.
ヒューズ准将殺害に使用された銃弾だ。
准将ヒューズ准将殺害に使用された銃弾。いや、銃弾だ。
口径は45。
So that's caliber, but that's a diameter. So that's caliber, a term for caliber. 口径は
使用弾数1発。
使用弾数1発。
腕がいいと言いたいが、至近距離からだ。
至近距離。至近。Oh, let me see that word. 至近。極めて近いこと。至近距離からだ。
女性でも十分可能だよ。
うん。
君の使用している銃の口径は
45口径です。
これは君の銃弾補充申請だ。間違いないね。
銃弾補充。Oh, look at that. Hey, get out of there. Cat, stop that. Okay. Okay, so there's the bullet. 銃弾補充。銃弾補充。申請. That should be a request, right? 申請 application. 銃弾補充申請。銃弾補充申請だ。
ここには1発と書いてある。何に使ったんだね。
そこにも書いてありますが、エドワード・エルリック護衛の際、第5研究所で。
第五研究所は閉鎖され無人のはずだ。
閉鎖され無人のはずだ。
無人ではありませんでした。
と君は主張する。
主張する。いつも文字続ける。君は主張する。主張する。
使用したという弾を探させようか。
第五研究所は謎の爆発で瓦礫の山です。
瓦礫の山。瓦礫の山です。
君が銃を使用したと主張する場所は本来無人であり、弾を探し出そうにも瓦礫の下というわけか。当日犯行時刻に現場から立ち去る君の姿を目撃したという証言がある。
そんなバカな。
落ち着きたまえ。その時間何をしていたんだね。
あの日は休みで両親の家にいました。両親に確認してみてください。
家族及び親しい間柄の証言は
親しい間柄。blood relationships。親しい間柄の証言は
アリバイとして認められない。
マリアロス少尉はただいま尋問中です。
尋問中です。
上官であっても面会は無理です。
そうか。アームストロング少佐。
アームストロング少佐。
漆軍曹。
少佐も来ていらっしゃるのですか。
ロス少尉のことか。
はい、実は第五研究所でエルリック兄弟護衛のために。
護衛 protection guardian escort。護衛のために。
私も少尉と共に一発撃っているのです。
何？
そのことを上申したのですが、相手。
上司。そのことを上申したのですか。
されませんでした。
はい。
少尉を犯人に仕立て上げるつもりか。仕立て上げる。作り上げる。being used。Okay。set up。少尉犯人に仕立て上げるつもりか。仕立て上げる。電鉄の炎。
よく見たらいっぱい傷ついてる。ハードな旅してるのね。
ハードな。
ねえ、これからどうするの？
どうすかな。
ね
どうすっかな。どうしてほしい？なんだよ。
あんたたち自身のことで相談されたことなかったから。
そっか。
怖かったよ。
Hmm.
ヒューズさんが殺されちゃうような危ない場所でエドもアルもずっと戦ってる。そう思ったらすごく怖くなった。だって死んじゃうかもしれない。急に私の目の前からいなくなる。父さんと母さんみたいに。そう思ったらすごく怖くなった。正直旅をやめてほしいって思った。元の体には戻ってほしいけど、危ない旅はやめてほしい。だってでもごめん。私もどうしたいかわかんないや。
ウィンリーは優しいね。
何言ってんのよ。私はいつだって優しいのよ。何それ言われてももう。
それだっておいよ。
おいよ。
ほいよ。
お、来た来た。
なんだよ、また新聞かよ。
一日中貴様と付き合わされてんだ。
よし。
このくらいしか楽しみは。
It does kind of sound like Ryuku from Death Note. It reminds me of him.
ファルマンジュニです。
Oh. Madman. Foreman. Shuni, right? Juni. Foreman Juni does. That should be. Why are they using June? Is that like show? I think it said Chu. They're using June for his middle. Okay.
外からかけてます。マスタング大佐に繋いでください。そうです。コードは。
んだよ、騒がしいな。
Oh yeah, okay. Warrant officer. There we go. Juni. Fotoman Juni does 外から。
アイラム、ジョージ、オリバー、4649。
アイラム、ジョージ、オリバー、アイラム、アイラム。Is that an I or an A? I. He's Iram. Georgie Oliver. J.O. 4619.
こいつはあの時の姉ちゃん。
Hey, we got a witness. Can't use the witness, but we got a witness. Yeah, she did shoot at me. Why was she shooting at you? Because I'm a mass murderer who was put to death through a sacrificial. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna fly. Uroboros. Homunculus. Oh, Uroboros no. Shiro? Shirushi. Uroboros no Shirushi. Homunculus.
これびっくりさせんなよ。
本当ね。死ぬ。
なんだよ。なんだと。マリアロス少尉、ヒューズ准将殺害事件の犯人と断定。
准将殺害事件の犯人。
信じられない。大佐か少佐なら何か知ってるかもしれない。
ウィンリーには
後で説明する。やだなあこれ。
文句言うな。よっころの首輪みたいなもんだ。
犬ころ like a mongrel. Let's see. Pup. 犬ころの犬の
回聞くが、お前本当に15歳か？
そうだよ。
嘘つけ。
そうすけ。
そうだよ。
なんだ。
なんだ。どうした？
侵入者です。手を貸してください。
何？おとなしくしてろよ。
はーい。
He's not gonna do it.
なんでこいつは銃が効かないぞ。どけ。この
I guess that's one way to do it.
かし切っちゃいけねえってのはつまんねえな。
切っちゃいけねえってよ。つまんね
もしもーし、
あ
銃が効かない人。こっから出して。
なんだおめえ。
新からの密入国者です。
密入国者です。
ああそう。遠い国からご苦労さん。
ご苦労さん。
出してくれたら手伝うよ。
いや目にかまってる暇。あ、どこの国だって？
東の新だよ。
一緒に来た。
ありがとね。
何？
やっと見つけたぜ。
第五研究所にいた。
覚えててくれて嬉しいね。俺なんか撃たれた右手の穴を見るたびに思い出してんだぜ。
撃たれた右手の見るたび旅に思い出して。
ヒューズ殺しの姉ちゃんよ。
ユーズ殺し。
それは誤解よ。
そうか。新聞は犯人断定って書いてるぜ。おめえさんこのままだと罪を着せられて銃殺刑だぜ。
銃殺刑。銃殺刑だぜ。
嘘よ。ちゃんと調査する。
選びだ。このまま殴り殺しにされるか。
なぶり殺し。なぶり殺し。このままのぶり殺しにされるか。
俺と一緒に逃げるか。
一緒に逃げるか。
二つに一つだ。
最悪だわ。それ以外に選択肢はないの。
選択肢。選択肢。質問に対して用意されてくるそのalternative。選択肢はない。
ないみたいだよ。
逃げるわよ。逃げりゃいいんでしょ。ちゃんとエスコートしなさいよ、このバカ骨鎧。
威勢がいいね。
威勢がいい。威勢。lively。勢いの良いこと。威勢がいいね。
女は度胸。
度胸。女は度胸。はいはい。
はい
はい
はい、了解しました。
了解しました。
市内全域に通達。マリアロスが脱獄。
市内全域。市内全域に通達。informed。通達。It should be an informed, right? Notification。通達。マリアロスは脱獄。脱獄。escaped prison。脱獄。
凶悪な同伴者がいる模様。直ちに捕らえよ。
凶悪な同伴者凶悪な同伴者がいる。
抵抗すれば
抵抗すれば
射殺して構わない。
どこまで逃げるの？
いいから走り。
ロショイ、エドワード君、アルフォンス君。
あんたけど
いやー、君たち何してるの？
そりゃこっちのセリフだ。
時間ないんだよ。姉ちゃん、そこの裏道から一直線に倉庫街に逃げた。
そこの裏道から一直線倉庫一直線に倉庫街に逃げな。
あそこの暗闇なら逃げ切れる。
そう
ロショイ、ヒューズ中佐は。
急げ。憲兵が来たら射殺されるぞ。
ロショイ、
来んじゃね
ショイ、ロショイ。
マリア・ロスだな。
何？
おお、やったか。おい、待てこら。行くぞ、痛めだ。
止めだ。Probably calling it a string bean. 行くぞ、痛めだ。
リン、なんでそんなやつと一緒にいるの？
後で話すよ。
やあ、鋼の。
どういうことだ？どういうことだ？大佐！
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Henry Douglas.
Fullmetal
Roy
Alchemist.
You didn't see the body die. If that's really the Mustang, it's easy to find a corpse in a city now. There's lots of corpses, so it's not too hard to believe that put her stuff on a corpse, burn it, and then then we finally got someone the people aren't looking for because she's dead. Or could be the I don't think the homunculuses are doing. They only have their special types of whatever alchemy you want to call it.
なんでだ？ヒューズ中佐はどうしてロッショイがなんで黙ってた？
上官に手を挙げるか。身の程をわきまえろ。
身の程をわきまえろ。わきまえる。身の程わきまえる。
脱獄したマリア・ロスには射殺命令が出てい
た。脱獄したマリア・ロスには射殺命令が出ていた。
それだけだ。
それだけって
ヒューズの死を隠したことは謝ろう。だが命令に異を唱えるな。
異を唱える。See, that's a phrase. 異を唱える。命令に異を唱えるな。説明を求めるな。
説明を求めるな。
説明を求める。
ただ従え。
ただし従え。
それが軍というものだ。
軍というものだ。
マスタング大佐、どういうことか説明してく
れ。抵抗すれば射殺してよしとの通達が出ていたはずだ。抵抗されたから殺した。
抵抗されたから殺した。
准将は君の親友だったそうだな。
准将。
ああ、いいやつだった。
いいやつだった。
ロス少尉を脱獄させたのは君の手のものじゃないだろうな。
私が？なぜ？
なぜ？ああやって自分の手で焼き殺すためさ。
ああやって自分の手で焼き殺すためさ。
憶測で物を言わないでもらいたい。
憶測で、憶測、確かな、いい加減。To that extent, right? It's conjecture. 憶測で物を言わないでもらいたい。
ヒューズ准将の死を伝えなかったのは本当にすまなかった。
俺のせいで。
思い詰めてはいかん。
思い詰めてはいかん。
お主のせいではない。
お主のせいではない。
お揃いか。
お揃いか。
ノックス先
生。ノックス先生。
なんせ損傷がひどくてな。だがかろうじて残された歯の治療痕から。
かろうじてギリギリのところでかろうじて残された歯のbarely かろうじて残された歯の治療dental work 治療recovery 治療後から
マリア・ロスと断定した。ひでえもんだ。こんなべっぴんさんを炭にしちまいやがって。
べっぴんさんこんなべっぴんさん炭にしちまいやげて
よほど恨みがあるんだろうな、マスタングさんよ。
恨み？よほど恨みがあるんだろう、マスタングさん。
敵討ちができて満足かい？
敵？敵討ち。主任父殺した敵討ちができて Kill the revenge 敵討ちができて満足かい？
イシバール戦の英雄が小娘相手にここまでやるとは。
英雄小娘相手にここまでやる。
ヘドが出るね。
ヘドが出るね。Let's see. Oh, okay. ヘッドが出るね。
大佐はこの度は我が輩の部下が飛んだことを。ロス少尉が殺人を犯すとは。
殺人を犯すとは。make sure the rule。
彼女は正直者で真面目で思いやりのある。
おう。
疲れが溜まっているようだな、少佐。休暇を取るといい。私がいた遠く、あそこはいいぞ。
いた遠く。あ、確かにいた遠く。あそこはいいぞ。ああ。
都会の喧騒もないし。
都会の喧騒もないし。
何より美人が多い。
というわけでマスタング君は見事親友の敵を討ちましたとさ。
マスタング君はイメージの時を
めでたしめでたし
めでたし。
爪が甘いんじゃない？
爪が甘いんじゃない？
大佐におとなしくしてもらうための作戦だったんでしょ。いいじゃん。犬が餌を食べちゃったってのもオツでさ。
で、もうオツでさ。
それに反感買ってるみたいだぜ。
反感かい。反感。反感買ってるみたいだぜ。
部下にも愛想つかされるんじゃない？
文化にも愛想つか。Let's see if that's a phrase. 愛想つかされるんじゃない？
何かね。
休暇願いです。
この時期にか
いけませんか？
いや、いいだろう。許可する。
ありがとうございます。
貴様というやつは勝手に出歩いてバレたら大佐になんて言われるか。
帰ってくるときは誰にも見られてねえよ。
そういう問題じゃなくて、
おめえは凶悪な犯人に捕まってる。かわいそ。
おめえは凶悪な犯人に。
そうだ、軍人さんなんだからいいんだよ。
軍人さんなんだからいい。
は
あ？よう、さっきから何やってんだ？
のろしだよ。
のろし。Well, it's like a fire pit, but signal fire. Okay, のろし signal fire. のろしだよ。
のろし？
大体見ず知らずの人間を連れてくるなんて何考えてんだ。
連れてくるなんて。
バカ、探しましたぞ。
おお、早かったな。
また吹いたぞ。
また吹いたぞ。
やあ、エリザベス、元気かい？
いつもお電話ありがとう。あんまりサボると怖い副官に怒られるんじゃないの？
怖い不可能。怒られる。
大丈夫だよ。彼女は休みだから。おかげでこうやって君のところに電話をかけられる。
I mean, it's obviously he's playing a part. I mean, that's just is not Mustang. Yeah.
どうよあれ注意が休みになった途端これだ。本当にあの人大盛りだったんだな。
そうなんだよ。私もこっちに来てから休みなしだったからね。そろそろ休暇を取ろうと思ってる。
あら、どこかへお出かけ？
最近釣りにハマっててね。一緒にどうだ？
Go fishing together. 釣りにハマってたね。
どちら様？いきなり何すんだよ少佐。
エドワード・エルリック。いかん、オートメールが壊れてしまったな。はあ？由々しき事態である。
由々しき由々しき時代。由々しき時代。
すぐに直さねばならん。我が輩がリゼンボールまで送って信ぜよう。
送って信ぜよ。送って信ぜる。OK。リゼンブルまで送って信ぜる。
いや、
何リゼンブールに帰るの
Wait, is that a city place? Okay.
もうある聞いてくれよ。
アルフォンス・エルリック、お主は目立つからセントラルにいるように。
主は目立つから。
よし、すぐに記者の手配だ。行くぞ、エドワード・エルリック。
いい加減にしてくれよ少佐。
そうはいかんのだ。これも命令だからな。あの男の。
はい了解しました。アームストロング少佐とエドワード・エルリックが汽車に乗ったそうです。
そうか。これで邪魔者はいなくなった。
留置所襲撃犯の目撃者に。
留置所襲撃留置所襲撃犯の
接触できたよ。で、これが犯人の似顔絵。
あら、生きてたのね。炎の大佐とつながりが？
炎の大佐と。
さあね。だけど可能性は大じゃないかな。
どこに逃げたの？
いや、逃げ足は速いわ。隠れるのが上手だわ。
要するに分かんないんでしょ？
要するに分かんないんでしょ
ね。
うるさいな、おばはんは。人手が足りないんだよ。
人手？
人手？人手？
人手はこれで十分よ。さあ出番よ。バリーザチョッパー。
Cool. All right, 2358.
すべての真実はクセルクセスにあり。
クセルクセス。Xerxes. Oh, Xerxes. クセルクセスにあり。
朽ち果て消えた町に残された人が。
朽ち果てすっかり。Oh, deformed or not deformed, decaying, rot away. Okay. すっかり腐って。朽ち果て消えた町に。朽ち果て消えた町に。
少年の闇を払拭する。
払拭。Clean away, clear away, wipe away. 払拭。少年の闇を払拭する。
次回鋼の錬金術師フルメタルアルケミスト第18話。小さな人間の傲慢な手のひら。
小さな人間の So, small humanity 傲慢な arrogance。 小さな人間 small humans arrogant palm。 手のひら。
人間よ、反撃ののろしを上げろ。
人間の反撃ののろし。Oh yeah, that's the signal fire。 反撃ののろしを上げる。Cool。 Shush。 Alrighty, try again. Let's see, what's the time right now? Hour 26. I started around 40. Yeah, okay, that went a little faster than yeah, I'm starting to get the feeling like, again, just if I'm just consistent with doing this every day, you know, a couple hours, and this is, I know it's kind of like studying for 2 hours, but it's you know, I'm calling it reading, and you know, it's not studying as I'm trying to learn. It's just that, hey, I'm just trying to enjoy the show and as comprehend it as much as possible using the pop-up dictionary, and it's working quite well. And there's been other successes doing that. I had partial success starting out way back when. I just never kept up with it, and it seems like when I do stuff like this, I do feel my abilities in the language get better. So yeah, there's that. And that's slightly different than like if you ask me like, hey, what's a word for, you know, or how do you say something in Japanese? That may or may not be an easy thing to do. But I get the feeling also like I want to build my comprehension up to a fluent level, and then I can worry more about the production aspects. Because I think the production is going to follow along much faster anyway once you get into that point. So yeah, just get it to where I can read and listen to pretty much anything. Then it's from there it's, you know, it's turns into mimicking or shadowing whatever is needed. Like this is going to be that much easier, right? You know, and I've done that with songs, so you know I can sing Japanese songs and actually sound like if someone didn't know it was me, like they would think it's a Japanese person singing, depending on the type of song, and that has happened. I'm always like doubtful if that's really true or not, because there's like you can't really it's hard to get a really straightforward answer all the time. But yeah, kind of like yeah, I'm hitting the right notes, so at least there's that. But again, that's mimicking there. So you know, we get close to mimicking, but now you just got to mimic the spoken word as opposed to the sung word, and yeah, you know, just make that sound more natural. And the way it's mentioned is like when you start doing with the shadowing is like you pick a character, you don't, you know, so find someone that's gonna kind of sound like the way you expect, like, you know, it has your similar voice pattern and also your kind of your personality, that not the personality you want, but kind of the personality you have, and yeah, it should help. Like, yeah, it's probably not a good person to do it like, but for me, like the character from Keikon Deki Nai Toko, I might, hopefully not anywhere near as rude as he is, but very similar in ages, and yeah, I think also he's kind of a nerdy about stuff. So he's a lot more. His character is a bit more obsessive compulsive, but that's just in my case example. But yeah, I just decided, hey, I just need to get my comprehension level up. So that's pretty much how I've decided to rearrange this thing. It's like, don't worry about output. The reason also about output is like, if you don't have someone to correct you, it can be dangerous. Like if you're just outputting, and so if you're doing something wrong, you're just going to compound how wrong you're doing it. And you can just listen to people who've like maybe taken Japanese in college, and you can definitely tell. I mean, it actually kind of makes fun of. There's like one movie called like Captain or something, about a guy who was pretending to be a U.S. naval captain, and he purposely is like trying to sound like a, like a foreign person speaking Japanese, like he doesn't even know English. He's just pretending like he just kind of sort of he knows Japanese fluently, but he doesn't sound native. That's how he's trying to talk. And I remember watching that. It's like, wow, he can. Even at my level, I can definitely tell the differences in what he's trying to do, since he's still speaking fluent Japanese. Obviously, he's a native Japanese. The actor is a native Japanese, but yeah. I think I've asked. I'm not sure, like, if it's like, could you tell, based on how someone speaks Japanese, like what country they're from, if they learned it as a second language? Like with English, we're pretty good. I think we could probably tell, because of how widespread English is. Like people pick up an accent, and then the accent is kind of, for English, is like kind of considered like part of that that area. Like there's that German accent when speaking English, the British accent, which I know British is English, but yeah, like there's the French accent, and when they're saying French accent, they mean the accent when they're speaking English. Whereas in the native tongue, obviously that accent you got to look at it differently. Like there's regional accents for that language in their country. So it's like, I don't know, when you see. I'm sorry about going out this though, but it's like when there was like a movie, I think it was Overlord, I'm not quite sure, but with Tom Cruise, and one of the complaints was that the characters were playing Germans, but they weren't speaking with German accent. But the common reply is, well, duh. People who are like, people who speak English where it sounds like English is their second language. You don't. That's different. Like these are Germans that are speaking the German as their first language. They wouldn't have what we would consider an accent. Again, it just sounds normal. Now you can kind of like if you're doing the equivalent of like if someone from Australia is talking to someone from Texas is talking to someone from New York, they're all speaking English, but let's say they're doing it in German. They wouldn't do it with an English accent. They would still say it in German, but they might give it a different regional dialect. So like in Japan, maybe like if someone's from Texas, maybe give it a Hokkaido or maybe Okinawa or something. It's just a bit more rural, whereas opposed to maybe I'm kind of pulling maybe Australia would be Osaka Ben or Kansai Ben accent. But yeah, just give them a different accent so you can tell from the person watching the show. Again, these are people speaking their native the language perfectly, so that if these are so if you have it where you're pretending like these are Americans speaking to each other in English, or I'm sorry, these are people speaking to each other in English, but you're doing it in Japanese, and to pick regional dialects. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to say. It's just it's just the way you got to look at it. It's like the way someone would say is like, I may speak with an accent, but I don't think with an accent. So it's like if someone's like speaking in English, but this is second language, they might have an accent, but you might have an impression is that their way of thinking is because they're speaking in English is slowed down, then that must mean that their thinking is slowed down. That's not true. Their thinking is clear, fluent, but not in English. It's in their native language. But again, you got to get across that, unfortunately, that mental aspect of you want to interpret this person as being. Maybe I'm making this way too complicated. I apologize. So yeah, let me go take a quick break. I'll be back with the second episode, episode 18. Let's bring it up real quick. Okay, cool. All right, be right back. Ooh, chicken salad. Nice. It's still recording. Should I heat up the water first? enough. Alright. Sorry about all that. Alright, let's get started. And one thing I'm noticing on 4chan, like, again, 4chan will bitch if they were hung with an old rope. But like they'll bitch about how I'm doing reading. Maybe not everyone is. It's hard to tell like which ones are being serious and which ones are just playing for the memes. But the meta. But they hate the idea. Like they think like this is the only way I watch TV is like by pausing a lot. It's like this is just my reading with lookups. So this is my study time, if you will. Where hey, I'm looking at something I don't know what it is. I look it up. Cool. That's it. Keep going. You would do the same thing if you were studying. If you didn't know what a word is, you look up what the word means. Good, you did done. So if this was on key, it would work very, very much the same way. Except here, obviously the spaced repetition is non-existent. It's just it comes up when it comes up. So sometimes you'll see a word pop up and you see it pop up again in the next conversation. And other times you see it pop up and never see it again. And I don't think there's anything wrong with pausing and catching up and looking and whatnot. But I don't know how they watch anime. I do know like it's a bad crutch to watch anime with subtitles, even Japanese subtitles, especially non-Japanese subtitles. But it is a crutch. But it better also like if you can follow and watch it without subtitles, that would be amazing. Like get used to hearing Japanese. I get that. I'm not doing it, but I get it. And again, it's probably one of the things where I still want to get everything up to comprehension up to a fluent level. It's definitely the reading, and then the listening is going to follow the reading, and then from there the speaking, and then the writing and the speaking. So right now I want to take the reading up, definitely get the reading up to that fluent level. Then everything else can be drug along. And it's a lot easier that way as well. $130. Zenburu.
大佐の命令って何なんだよ。いい加減話してくれよ、少佐。
They were on the train all that time. They didn't say anything. Come on now.
我が輩も詳しくは聞いておらん。ただ、お主を連れてリゼンブールで合流せよと。
合流。
合流って誰と？
どうも、アームストロング少佐。
と、よう大将。
ブルダ少尉。
兄さん、リゼンブールにはとっくについているはずなのに。連絡ないね。そもそも修理なら私がいるのに。
Yeah, it's the start of something. そもそも。
ロス少尉の件といい、わからないことだらけだ。
だから説明に来たんだ。
あ。
窓からほら一応犯罪者だしね。
一応犯罪者だしね。お呼び？犯罪。留置場。脱獄。OK。うん。Escaped prison。
あ、エドワードのことなら心配いらないよ。今頃は多分。
マジ。 リゼンボル。
国を出るなんて聞いてねえぞ、大佐の野郎。
ハンさん、目的地はまだですかね。とっくについてるよ。
ハンさん、目的地は
ほら、
とっくに聞いてる。
クセ追跡だ。
奇跡。That's a miracle, right? But iseki, remains. Koko no ningen, remains of a civilization's ruins of. Okay, iseki. ゼルクシー遺跡だ。
なんで小僧がいるのだ。
ちょっとわけやりてな。
クセルクセスか。東の賢者の話で読んだっけ。
東の賢者。
ああ、俺たちの国に錬金術を伝えた術師のおとぎ話だよ。
のOdoki Banashi. Odoki Banashi. Let's see what Odoki is. Odoki. Odoki Banashi.
一夜にして滅んだクセルクセス王国の生き残りが
One night, 一夜。一夜にして滅ぶ。That's a destruction. 滅んだ。王国。
建国から間もなかった頃のアメストリスに流れ着いて。
建国。新しく。建国から。ストレス。アメストリス。
錬金術を広めたって伝説。
我が国には西から流れ着いたという伝説がある。
流れ着いた。流れ着いたという伝説がある。
彼が伝えた技術と真の技術が合わさり、
合わさりぴったり飛びつく技術が合わさり
今の練炭術となったらしい。
練炭術となったらし
い。医学方面に発達したっていうあれか。
我々は彼のことを尊敬を持って呼んでいる西の賢者と。
西の
その賢者の出身がここだったと。
そう伝えられている。
伝えられている。
クセルクセ水石を見ておきたかったから。
クセルクセス遺跡を
なるほど、それでか。
しかしこんだけの技術を持ちながら一夜で滅ぶなんてことがあるのかね。
滅ぶってこと。
ただの伝説かもしれんがな。
かもしれんがな。
何をしている。こっちだ。
kind of looks like the city, right? The main capital city. Hmm.
ずいぶん奥まで行くんだな。
私がいた東部、あそこはいいぞ。都会の喧騒もないし。
建造。都会の建造。
何より美人が多い。
クソ大佐。よっしゃい。さあ再会の方よ。
おうよ。再会の方よ。
死んだ人間が国内にいちゃどこでバレるかわかんねえからよ。国外に出したんだ。
じゃあ大佐はロッショイが無実だと分かってた。
無実。
動きが派手すぎやしませんかね。
お前もそう思うか。
ええ、大勢の前で連行したり。
連行したり。
軍にとって不名誉である同僚殺しを。
不名誉である同僚殺し。
デカデカと新聞に載せたり。
デカデカ。普通に。White. Big ball. Okay. デカデカ。新聞。
私だ。
バルマン中尉から一般回線で通信です。
つなげ。
大佐、ヒューズ准将殺害の件ですが。
バリー。
バリー。
マスタングさん、新聞見たかい？面白い話があったけどよ。
いやーバーニー、使用電話はいけないな。外からかけ直すからちょっと待っていたまえ。
かけ直すから。外からかけ直すか。あ、かけ直すからちょっと。
何？それは本当か？
ああ、少尉の使った弾ってのは俺を撃った時のだ。今でも撃たれた穴が右手に残ってるぜ。
撃った時のだ。でも撃たれた穴が右手に。
仕掛けてみるか。バリー、久々に暴れてみたくはないか？
久々 long time。バリー久々暴れてみたくはないか。
了解。人は殺さねえよ。倉庫街の2番通路だな。
倉庫街。should be 倉庫街。倉庫街の2番通路。2番通路だな。
ブレだ。
ブレだ。
大至急これを集めろ。
豚の骨と肉。
豚の骨。
炭素、アンモニア。
Ah, okay. He made a corpse. Gotcha.
何ですか？
焼死体を一つでっち上げる。
実体です。
体
バカ言うな。あくまで焼死体のようなものだ。
焼死体。あくまで焼死体の。
そんなもん検視官に見られたら。
検視官見られたら検視官。
鑑定などできないくらい消し済みにする。
鑑定などできないくらい消し。No, it's burnt to a crisp. 消し済みする。
歯の治療痕を照合されたらどうするんですか？
治療痕。歯の治療痕。照合。照合されたらどうするんですか？
手は打った。
手は打った。
できるんですか？
専門ではないが、それなりに知識は持っている。
専門ではないが、それなりに知識は。
焼死体を作るのは得意だ。
焼死体を作るのは
急げ。
Who's good at making corpses? Trying to remember if there's anyone in the story that's been set up that way.
マリアロスだな。ダミーだ。君は今夜ここで死ぬ。ぼさっとするな。いやあ、鋼の。
どういうことだ大将。
ありゃ鋼の大将。参ったな。
鋼の大将。
予定外だ。
トワード君。
まあ大佐はなんとかしてくれるだろう。行くぞ。
はい。
ロス殿を脱獄させた際、我がとバリーが取引をしておってな。
取引をしておってさ。
わしが若より受けた命令は、この女を東へ運ぶこと。
ここで合流する約束をしてロス少尉を逃がしたってわけだ。
なるほど。
気に入らねえな。大佐の野郎に一杯食わされたってことだろ。
食わされたと。
口で説明するよりロス少尉と合わせた方が納得しやすいだろう。
分かってる分かってる。今回は大佐の言う通りだよ。
その大佐だがな。頭に血が上ったやつにうろうろされては。作戦の邪魔になるとも言ってたっけ。
何のクソ大佐。
作戦とはロス少尉の救出以外にも何かあるのか。
ロス少尉の救出以外にも何かあるのか。
ええ、軍に救っている黒幕を。
救っている。救う。ネスト。軍に作っている黒幕。
釣り上げてやろうと思いましてね。
That should be cast a line, right? 釣り上げて。Land a fish. 釣り上げてやろうと。
釣り上げる？
第五研究所の秘密を握るバリーがあれだけ派手に暴れたんだ。
あれだけ派手に。
必ず口封じにやってくるさ。
タイプ、マゾ、必ず口封じ。口封じ。口封じ。でくるさ。Very.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Alex Louise Armstrong.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
ロス、醤油。
そんなことになってたんだ。もしかしてエドが連れて行かれたのってただの厄介払い？
厄介払い？ただの厄介払い？
そうだね。で、俺はバリーってやつの体の秘密を教えてもらう代わりに手を貸したってわけ。
俺はバリーってやつの体の秘密を教えてもらう。
ところがさ、
俺をこんな体にした研究者はもう死んじまってるからよくわかんねえんだよ。
え？
俺をこんな体にした研究者はもう
そりゃないでしょう。
そうだ、アルフォンスってやつも似たような体だから、あいつ
ホームズってやつも
から聞いてくれや。
ってことで君から聞くことにしたよ。約束だからよろしくね。
その約束って僕無関係なんだけど。本当無関係よね。私賢者の石とかホムンクルスとかなんで巻き込まれちゃったんだろう。
これでかなりの情報が出揃った。純正殺しの真相が分かれば、
真相、純正殺しの真相が分かれば
状況も変わるさ。
お主の冤罪は？
お主の冤罪。Innocence. 罪がないのに false charge. Oh, false charge. Okay. 冤罪. Interesting kanji there. Let me look at it real quick. False charge. In. Okay, that's not too difficult to remember. 冤罪。お主の冤罪は我々が
晴らしてみせる。
ヒューズ純正、本当に死んじまったんだな。
これからどうするつもりだ？
自分たちが納得する方法で前へ進みなさい。
禁忌を犯した俺たちに。
犯した禁忌を犯した禁忌を犯した俺たちに
協力してくれる人がいる。怒ってくれる人、支えてくれる人がいる。元の体に戻ろうと約束した弟がいる。そして後戻りはできない。だったら前に進むしかないじゃないか。誰一人失わない方法で。もし誰かが犠牲になりそうになったら
誰かが犠牲になりそうになったら
俺が守る。難しいことかもしれない。自分の身一つで精一杯なのに。
身一つ It's me, Totsu, right? Me, Totsu. Shibuna Totsu. Say bye.
他人まで守ろうだなんて傲慢かもしれない。
傲慢思い上げ。傲慢かもしれない。
でも今の俺にはこれしか思いつかない。だから進むよ前に。
ロス将棋、お主らはこれからどうする？
はい、真の国へ行こうと思います。
両親にだけでも知らせておくか。
いえ、万が一私が生きていることが両親の口から漏れれば、取り返しのつかないことになります。
取り返しつかないこと。
そうか。
アームストロング少佐、ブレタ少尉、マスタング大佐にお伝えください。救ってくださったことに感謝しますと。そして有事の際には呼び戻してください。
有事の際、そして有事の際には呼び戻してください。
その時は命を懸けて働かせていただきますと。
Say one side, put one side. 命がかけて働かせていただきます。
元気でね、エドワード君。
ビンタの借り。
ビンタ。ビンタの代わり。
返せなかった。
また今度ね。
誰？
また今度。
良い仲間を持ったな。
フーさん、秦はどんな国ですか？
人も食べ物も豊かで懐の深い良い。
もう食べ物も豊か
いい国だ。
懐の深い。懐の深いよ。深い良い国だ。
安心するが良い。
安心するが良い。
この砂漠を越えたら楽園があると思っていいんですね。
ただしこの砂漠越えがなかなか過酷でな。気をつけろよ。
砂漠越えなかなか過酷でね。気をつけろよ。
今からあまり水分を浪費するな。
浪費するな。水分を浪費するな。
明日あたり店に寄るよ。お土産は何がいい？エリザベス。
ごめんなさい、ロイさん。ケイト、お客さんが来たわ。ジャクリーンを呼んでくれる？
ジャクリーンを呼んでくれる。
ジャクリーン、客が来ましたよ。
了解。
バリー、落ち着けよファルマン。こいつは殺しちゃダメだぜ。
のために復命してると思ってんだ。
覆面。何のために覆面してると。
これだから現場慣れしてねえやつはよ。
してね
すみません。お前は巻き込まれただけってことになってる。手は出すなよ。どこで軍の連中が見張ってるかわからねえんだ。
手は出す。手は出すなよ。どこで軍の連中が。合ってる。奪ってるか。お前。
外に出るぞ。しかし外には敵がいるかもしれませんよ。外は大丈夫だ。しまった。心配すんな。俺たちには鷹の目がついている。
That's a hawk. But taka no me ga. The eyeing us like a taka no me ga tsuiteru.
大きな音がしたがどうした？
大丈夫よ。お客さんがジャクリーンにいたずらしたから。
お客さんがジャクリーンにいたずら。お客さんがジャクリーンにいたずらした。
少し叩いてやっただけ。
おやおや。
手厳しいね、エリザベス。
よーし、動くなよ。いろいろと聞きたいことがあって。こいつ言葉通じるのか？
Can you speak? 言葉は通じるのか？
おい、嘘だろ。こいつはこれは俺の体だ。
何？どういうことだ？
奴らは俺の体に実験動物か何かの魂を放り込みやがった。
動物か何かの魂を放り。Let's see, 魂放り込み。放り込みやった。
肉体が魂を起こせてやってきたんだよ。懐かしいぜ。魂ひっぺがされて以来のご対面だ。
ひっぺがされてひっぺがする。魂ひっぺがされた以来対面だ。以来のご対面だ。Going back to look at it?
メッセージ。第五研究所にあったのと似てるけど。二頭の竜。
Two heads of the dragon.
太陽。ああ、くそ。上の方かけててわかんねえや。
上の方かけててわかんね
えな。なんか妖怪言っとくけど金はイシュバール人か。
Where'd they all come from?
少年よ、国軍から我らの聖地を取り戻すため。
Is it Hochi? 聖地。我々 我らの政治をロス
人質になってはくれんか。
軍がこんなガキ一人のために動くわけねえだろ。
あの内乱も引き金は一人の子供の死だった。
内乱 the rebellion or yeah あの内乱も引き金は一人の子供。
何が歴史を変えるきっかけになるか。
変えるきっかけ歴史を変えるきっかけになるか。
わからんの
だ。やめんか見苦しい。
やめない。やめんか見苦しい。
シャン様。
バカ者が石原の名を恥ずかしめる気か。
恥ずかしめる。うん。恥ずかしめる気か。
その人を話してあげて。もう襲ったりしないから。
なんで助けた。あんたらはアメストリス人を憎んでるはずだろ。
アメストリスアームステスアメストリスヒット。
すべてのアメストリス人が悪でないことを知っておるからじゃ。
おる。している、しておる、しておる。いや、しておるか。
シャン様も僕も内乱で大怪我をした時にアメストリス人のお医者さんに助けてもらったんだ。正直君たちが憎いけど僕が生きているのもあのお医者さん夫婦のおかげなんだ。
夫婦
Winley's parents?
まさかロックベルって名前じゃ。
君ロックベル先生の知り合いなの？おう。先生は僕たちイシュバールの民を何人も救ってくれたんだ。
そうか。ロックベルのおじさんとおばさんが。
戦いがひどくなる中、我らと共にいてくれた。
どんな最後だった？
どんな最後だった？
夫妻は助けた患者にイシュバールの者に殺された。そんな。すまない。わしらはあれを止められなかった。どこのドイツだ。
It's gonna be Scar, isn't it?
顔は分からなかった。右腕に入れ墨のあるイシュバールの武装だ。
武装。イシュバールの武装だ。
機会があったらロックベル夫妻の墓前に報告をしておいておくれ。
ロックベル夫妻の墓前に報告をしておいて。
感謝と謝罪を。
Thanks and apologies. 謝罪。感謝、謝罪。I like that. 感謝、謝罪。Apologies. Thanks and apologies. It's a long pause. Yeah, but like if it turns out like the scar was a weapon being used against, then you can't really blame the weapon in that way. That you can, you can try to prevent such weapons from being created. There's that, but.もう存分、思う存分、もうこれで十分だと満足するまで。もう存分、both thoughts. Heartsman can もう存分、ブッダ。切れる機会なんて。
なかなかねえぜ。お前、さっきは殺すなって言ってただろうが。
作戦なんてもうクソくらいだ。
作戦なんて。
魂がざわつくんだよ。
ざわつく。ざわざわ。魂がざわつくんだ。
ダメだ。だいたい元の体に戻りたいって思うのが普通じゃないのか。
あの体もう持たねえよ。
もうあの体がもう持たねえ。
なんだ、腐ってるのか。
じゃあもう我慢できねえ。切るぜ。俺の体をどうしようが俺の勝手だ。
ダメだっつってんだろうが。
どうしたんだろう。
喧嘩かしら。お客さんとトラブルみたい。いけない。電話はまたにするわ。こっちもお客が来てしまった。
Oh, gluttony. Story's getting good. Okay, let's see. What do we got? 2358.
その女は強く誇り高き人。
誇り高き。強く誇り高き人。
仲間より慕われる美しき人。
仲間より慕われる。Love. Care and love. Yearn for it. 仲間より救われて美人。美しき。
だが敵を射抜く武器は力を失い、
だが敵を射抜く武器は
命の火は儚く消えた。
命の花儚い。That's a different word. 消えてなくなれない。That is not a common kanji. 儚く消えた。
次回鋼の錬金術師フルメタルアルケミスト第19話死なざる者の死。
死なざる。死なざる者。Okay, so undead. The death of the undead person. Oh, death of the undying. Okay. Shinazaru mono no shi.
苦悩に歪む
Kuno aru kore to kurushimi no yonu koto. Desperate thoughts or cruel, not cruel thoughts, like suffering. Okay. Kuno no. And this is a yugami bitter. Kunami nigamu. Yugamu. Kuno ni yugamu.
それは記憶のなせる技
Cool. Alrighty. There we go. And what's the time? 2:26. When did I can't forget when I started. Yeah, these aren't too bad. So oh, I never even turned down the volume. I apologize about that. Kept the volume up at 80. Usually I turn that down so you're not like hearing me mumble all the time. Yeah, this is I like this. Like I said, I mean, you just really want to watch the next episode. It just wants you know, makes you want to do that, which is good. And yeah, I mean, it probably won't be as exciting. I mean, like the book I was reading. I mean, it was kind of that way too. I kind of like the author wrote another book of a series, TV show I've watched before, called Galileo. So it's by the same author, Higashino Keigo. And it reads well. I mean, I think he writes, the books he wrote were better than the TV shows they were based on, at least from what I could tell, or vice versa. Like there was TV shows made from what he wrote. It's just from a little bit I read. Like it's not like he's writing at a very high. He's not trying to write to like he falls in love with a thesaurus. So he's like, so it reads quite well, and the plotting, at least with the one book I read, worked real well compared. Like he's not trying to saying like, hey, this happened magically, and then it's like sometimes a chance happens that helps get the story move along, which it makes sense. But it doesn't feel like a cheat. It feels like, okay, yeah, that could. It was like a couple of times that happened. It was set up, and even then, it wasn't like it wasn't moving the plot forward. It was found out. Like everything was kind of, like for example, like this lady was seen by a person who thought she had left the country, and then also this person that they were trying to pull a scam on in a way wanted to contact her. She thought it was in relation to, but she didn't want to really see him again. But then she got lost in thought and accidentally kind of got close to his business. So, which is where she was seen the last time by that previous guy. So it's like it made sense that meetup happened. It wasn't just out accidentally. I mean, it was in a place where it makes sense how, even in a city as large as Tokyo, these three people could have came together at the same time in the story. Cool. I mean, because the setup made sense. And with a lot of like the live action dramas that I've seen, and even the anime, it seems like a lot of times the setup is just accidentally just tossed in there. It's like, okay, yeah, this is how it happened, and just believe it. Just in a city the size of Tokyo, just even if it's just in a borough of it, it's still the idea like at night you just happen to walk across the two people that you're concerned about and are able to eavesdrop on a conversation. That just, no, it's not believable, especially if that happens multiple times. It's just not how it works in reality. And you can write a story like if you feel like, just make it to where it's set up so it's believable, and it's harder to write it that way. I can kind of understand that, but you don't have to be lazy about it. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean you just don't do it. And then people appreciate the story afterwards. Like that's when you realize the story's tight. Like it's like it makes sense why all these events took place. Like you can, if you think about it, like you think along the story, you realize like, hey, this happened, and then because of that, this happened, and because of that, this happened. That's a really good way of how writing should be. It should never be like, and on an unrelated note, it's like everything should flow. And then if you're doing multiple stories in parallel paths, and if you do it right, then they're going to connect. You just don't say it just happens. And the worst thing you do is like someone eavesdrops on something, and this is kind of guilty in that you have the bad guys explaining their plans. It just don't tell them, Like the guy who says, hey, yeah, I'm a homunculus. Says, well, why did you have to tell him that? Just don't tell him that. If he thinks you're human, then just keep it to that point. You can destroy him later. You know, if you tell him all your secrets, well then, yeah, he's going to be able to work against you, and that's happened in this particular anime. I don't hate it for it, just that I am noticing it's like, tell me your secret. Oh, okay, here's my secret, because I'm going to defeat you. And then of course he ends up getting defeated. Okay, maybe you shouldn't have told him that, and he wouldn't have defeated you. All right, but yeah, it's a fun story. You laugh, it's humorous. The jokes sometimes feel a little out of place to how serious and heavy the story can get at times, but I kind of like it. It's not perfectly balanced, but it is funny. The Armstrong character, again, he just takes off his shirt and then shows off his muscles, and you realize he's got this really big heart, big guy with a big heart, and it's kind of cute, but it's like, it plays against when he gets to a serious thing, when he's like has to get serious. It makes it a little more difficult to take him seriously. Same with the Ed now, like Edward, when you realize like, he's got a really bad temper about him, but he acts all goofy and stuff, but then so it's a little harder to take him seriously when he needs to be serious. But it's a trade-off, and I think though it made it more fun, the enjoyable parts of it. Anyway, let's I think we'll call that a day. So we're about the 2.5 hour mark. So yeah, it was 45 minutes instead of 30 minutes. I apologize about that. I didn't mean to go beyond the 30-minute mark. But it's been fun. And yeah, so for the next few days, maybe a week or so, like pretty much is going to be back to doing the, showing off the little kanji stuff, but that shouldn't matter. And hopefully by the time I get back to, just be back to doing the Morph Man reviews when they, because hopefully I'll keep adding on to those. And like I said, I need to slow, with Morph Man, it's just right now it's on my 5th Let's Read that I'm catching up on, and I've done like 16 of these Let's Read, so I'm at 5. I'm gonna catch up to number 16, and then when I'm caught up to where I'm at, then I'll do a reevaluation as to what I'm gonna do. Most likely it's if I catch up, then it's okay, I'll be at around 2,000 or so words that I've added into Morph Man. Then that's when I've decided, like, okay, I want to then go through the Tango Into decks and but do it in a faster way. Before I did it slower, like I was adding Japanese definitions, I was checking some stuff, but now it's just, the only thing I might worry about is make sure it has pitch information. Beyond that, I'm not going to sweat too much. Unless I really need clarification as to what the definition is. I might use Japanese, definitely I'll lean more on the Japanese definitions because they are definitions, they're not translation. Usually we call it a Japanese English dictionary, but it's a Japanese English translation is what it is. And so kind of like a thesaurus, but here's words for this Japanese, here are other words for this Japanese word, but they just happen to be English words. If you think about it, that's how really the way you should kind of look at it. So that's why it's kind of limited. That's why a Japanese definition can be a lot better, in that you get a more deeper understanding as to what this word is about. And it's really been helpful. Like, not always. I mean, sometimes the definition ain't gonna do you any fucking good. You just need to look at the English translation, especially for more complicated concepts. But for simple stuff, okay, that makes sense. That just comes with time. And as I said, the benefit of using a Japanese dictionary is that then you're staying more and more in Japanese when you're doing these types of readings with lookups. Reading immersion with lookups. There's probably and the more I'm thinking about now, I like the idea of like on these levels. So the highest level of immersion is with lookups. Like you look up what you don't know. That's the highest level. That's basically your studying, right? And that can go along with studying. But yeah, so here's something you don't know, and you're looking it up. Cool. So you're always learning something, even if it's like you're gonna try to memorize it or you're just learning it real quick. You might forget it, you might not. Cool. Below that is the active immersion. That's you sitting in front of the TV, or you sitting down with the book reading, sitting in front of the TV watching it. That's active immersion. And then finally there's background immersion, where it's something is just playing in the background. Yeah, or if you live in the country, just obviously you're gonna be surrounded for the text. You're gonna be surrounded by the text. You see that all the time, unless you're like right now we're kind of stuck in the house. But even then on TV, it's gonna be text showing on screen all the time. So that's your reading immersion or your reading background. So you might pay attention to it, you might not. And the discussion, that's the talking. But again, it says passive. Acts 42. I made some monolingual cards, but I had to use English definition for some of the words because I couldn't understand. Yeah, right. Don't. I think that whole push toward monolingual. I think they overdid it. They made it seem like it was this thing like, oh, this magical land of fairies and unicorn farts. It's great to have, but remember the purpose of it is to build. You're trying to build up, not sideways. So and remember the sentences are there because they were fun in Japanese. You want to make sure it came from something fun. But now if you're doing a Japanese definition, that's not fun. When you kind of working against the whole idea behind mass immersion, which was getting you immersed in more stuff that's enjoyable. And if a Japanese definition is not enjoyable, you're kind of, and like I said, just if the word was kidding, all right, that definition of her kidding. In fact, I'll just show you real quick. Okay, kidding. All right, so there it is, and we're obviously now okay. So there we go. Now all you needed was the English, right? But kidding. Now based on all this, there is no fucking way. Realistically, you're going to like try with this definition. Think giraffe. All you need is like giraffe. That's it, or just a fucking picture of a giraffe. Dictionaries don't come with pictures normally, or these types don't. So that doesn't do you good. Now you could do a lookup like in Google Images. Yeah, that could do it. But again, let's just save fucking time. If it's going to be a picture of giraffe and you know what a giraffe is, just say, hey, it's a fucking giraffe. That's it. Now, if it's something a bit more complicated, like let's say, what we did what was it? Iato. Iseki. Oh, sorry. Okay, now that one. No, now look at that. Kakao no ningen no. Now that part right there, I'm not quite sure. Ato ga nakosetteru basho. So basically, something from the past that remains of something from the past. Iko imono aru. So you could probably guess runes from this, maybe. I mean, you might not. You might. It depends on the level of your comprehension of these particular words. But yeah, there are runes. You might be now, depending on your level, you might just say, "Hey, go with runes, go with the English," or you can quickly say, "Okay, cool. Just from this, I know." You can quickly figure out, "Hey, this is the definition for runes." Yeah, and this is like, let's see, Kojin. So this is a person who's passed away. Nakoshita, whatever this is, Ryuchi. Anyway, this is just an example. So, kidding, you're definitely not going to get it from the Japanese definition. Like, if you look for the definition of motto, in fact, let's just do it, motto. Now, you know it because of the kanji, but, sorry. Okay. You got it? No, it's a fucking window. You just need a translation real quick of the word. That's it. Because it's like seeing a picture of the word. If you saw a picture of the word or a translation word, you're going to think window. So as long as you're hearing model and you're visualizing window, then that's fine. The big thing if you do English, though, try to are so you are connecting the Japanese to the visuals. Try to do that. Or I will use pictures sometimes. Definitely, like what was it? Great, I already forgot the word for it. But like, I mean, suihanki, that's obviously, but show a picture of a rice cooker. Reizoko, well, obviously Reizoko is a refrigerator, but was it? Why am I forgetting I'm drawing a blank on the word now. It's one of those things. It's one of those words where if I see it, I know what the word is, but you're trying to ask me what it is in Japanese, I'm drawing a blank. So that happens sometimes. But was it hakori? Maybe hakori. Was it? Is it hakori? Hakori for like scale, weight scale. Whatever. I apologize. I'm going a little bit too far on this. Like, don't sweat. This whole monolingual transition thing, I think they made too big of a fucking deal. You know what you want? You want to be reading in Japanese. That's your monolingual transition. Read shit in Japanese. There you go. If you see a word you don't know, look it up. If you use it with the Japanese definition, winner. If you do it with see it with an image, winner. If you do it with an English, fucking winner. You're still reading. Just keep going. You got it? Cool. Move on. And if as you keep seeing it, you start, oh yeah, you remembered the context from the previous way you understood it, and when it shows up again, you kind of remember that, but now you're kind of internalizing it. It's now just kind of like a feeling of what it is, and so that's really what you want to get to that point, and get that through the immersion. In this case, immersion through the active lookup, so you're not skipping over stuff you're not, the reading without immersion is, reading without lookups is perfectly fine. I think you're probably going to be doing it because this is tiring. This does tire you out. You can't do this for too long a day. It wears you down. And I can read them much longer. Like if I were just looking at this or watching, a lot of it would go over my head. I'll be honest. Well, maybe not. No. Some things I won't get. Like I won't actually get the plot line. Like I might have missed that's Barry's corpse, the type of thing that they put the spirit of an animal inside. I might have missed that part. Kind of, sort of. I might have thought like he might have been thinking it's his brother or something. I think that's what I was imagining. Yeah, that stuff I might miss. But for the overall general story, I'm pretty sure I could follow along and kind of guess what's going on. Even if I wouldn't know what some of the words they're using, I wouldn't now have internalized it the way I have now because I've been doing this with reading, with audio, and looking up what the words mean. Yeah. Who knows? Like I said, I'm putting myself out there. All right. You can go back. You know how much I've read. Well, technically you look at it, it's like this is the 16th one I've done for live. If you've done the non-live stuff, then I guess total would be the equivalent of 20, roughly. Then you can kind of get a feel, like if you look at what it's like now with me going through versus, let's say, the second. Let's go with the second TV show. Don't count with Hanayori Dango, and just kind of compare like what it was like between the two, or then look at the first novel I did, which was light novel, because that was Zero no Tsukaima, and that was the first book I read where I didn't know anything about the story, so that was like completely raw. Similar, go with that. Most of these are not. I'm not going into it like completely new. Like I do kind of know the story. This one, it's like I've seen the previous anime, but Evangelion, it's completely new. Death Note, kind of sort of new, kind of not. I've seen the story, and I never followed along 100%. So there was that, and I never completed it. So there was that. Yeah. Harry Potter, obviously, I've gone into. So it's it's kind of, even then, kind of looking back, like how am I doing back then? Even then, you got to be really careful on that, because I purposely chose material that was familiar to me, either stuff I've watched many times but I never did a full deep reading of, but I do feel like I've gotten better. It feels better. I could be wrong. Anyway, I'm talking way too much. Just get to the basics, get to where. There's just that little, with Japanese, there's that kind of steep hill you gotta kind of get up first, and then that steep hill is going to be, like hiragana, katakana, which is entire character sets. Then you've got a kanji, because there's some basic words in grammar, which is completely different the way English works. So you got to learn those brand new, but these are very common words in Japanese, so you got to learn them, as well as some common kanji that needs to be a part of it. And then, so you're trying to build up to about 2,000 or so words, roughly 500 kanji, and basic vocabulary. Okay, you kind of want to get there if you want to start doing this daily reading every day. And even then, it's going to take you a long time to get through each story. Like, if it takes you 5 times as long, like if it's 20 minutes of dialogue or story, then you expect it to take 100 minutes to get all the way through it, just if you're doing lookups. All right, but think about it. That 20-minute thing with your very first success story of reading something in Japanese, okay, that you've read and you're just doing that daily. And first you did like a 20-minute story, right? But now, a few weeks later, you've finished an anime. And think about it, you finished an anime that's completely in Japanese. All right, and then just add on to there. Just keep going. Like find another show or another anime, or if it's a long anime, keep with. I do recommend switching it up. Like don't spend too much time on just one thing. But I think you'll be. But if you're excited about it and it's making you going, stick with that one show. Sure, go with it. And you're going to get better. I think there's benefits draw at sticking with the series. Yeah, a series like this, that's as long as it is, don't do that. But if it's like a one season show, let's say 13 episodes, yeah, that's a one season of a show for 13. So that's about 20 minutes. So that's 260 minutes. And if it's taking 5 times long, so that's 1,000 minutes. So it's, kind of do the math. You could be spending like 30 hours on that one show, but it gets faster. And then the next show you do it's even faster, and the next show it's even faster, because you're not just doing the readings here with lookups. You're also hopefully day by day doing study. You're still increasing your studying. Now your studying could be sentence mining. So while you're doing the reading here, let's say, hey, I'm reading through this, and then oh wow, this is a really good sentence. これは内緒なんだけど. So this is a secret. This is just between us. However, so oh, that's a good one. So you want to save that. That's your sentence. You've mined that sentence. So that's the one you're going to put into Anki. And you do that for like 10 to 20 sentences a day. So like you're doing your reading and you're always maybe copy pasting sentences that you think might be, there was this one new thing in there. So you're able to figure out just by looking up that one thing. That's a really good sentence to maybe save. And you liked what it was trying to get across. Like it's a phrase that you might actually say yourself. Right? So that's a really good sentence, man. It's short. So you don't want something like super long. Like this is a very long sentence here, right? But you don't have to pick the whole sentence. You can just pick part of it. Like the moto no karada ni modoritai. Like I want to return to my original body. I want to return to omo no ga fusujin. It's not normal. Thinking about that's not normal. But yeah. So yeah, I can't use that body. This may not be a good phrase because how often are you going to be saying it, type thing. Maybe stuff about spirit you may not be saying too much, but you might leave it up to you. Who knows? Maybe you want to save it because it's a whatever reasons. But anyway, that's sentence mining. But you don't have to do that. You could stick with the tango text or whatever you're doing for creative vocabulary and like build up to N3. But what I noticed personally. And what Navy Dave noticed was after about the N3, it kind of the tango books got boring for us. But another guy or gal, they're actually excited to get into the N2 and beyond. So it depends on what you're liking. All you're doing is slowly increasing your active vocabulary. So you look up less stuff. Cool. That's all. That's all. So whether you're using Genki or Japanese the manga way or Japanese from zero or whatever, except Rosetta-san, because that's shit. Just worry about increasing your vocabulary and get into this reading. That's all this is about. Is like getting you to that point where you can actually do the active reading, and that's when you're really going to start getting better in Japanese. And if it's a different language like Spanish, you don't even have to do that part. Just fucking open up a book and just start reading with a pop-up dictionary. Now with Spanish and French and all that, I still recommend make sure you're doing it to audio. So if it's the subtitles of a Spanish drama or a French movie, use that instead. And like I'm doing here with this, and that way you're hearing how these words are pronounced. Because you got to be careful, because if you're reading a text, you're going to pronounce it like you would in your native language, and you don't want that. You want to hear it in your head as a native of the target language is saying it. Inexpensive. I don't know what part's expensive, but okay. This is anyway. Hopefully this makes sense. There's no real, like I said. Someone asked me a question yesterday online during the interview about what's a good book to read at 6,000 sentences. So you've mined 6,000 sentences. Well, probably it's a book you want to read. Because by the time, if you've been doing sentence mining to 6,000 sentences, you already have an idea what you enjoy to read. You should already have it by then. And pick that book. There's no suggestion. It's like, hey, pick this book by this author that wrote another book that you liked. Do that. Or an author who wrote a book for the show that you enjoyed. read that book. You know, there's that's an easy choice, really. There, especially in Japanese, there's so many books. You're not hurting for books. You're not hurting for TV shows. You're not hurting for anything in Japanese. It's all there. If you pick in Japanese, as far as resources are concerned, you're fucking golden. If you're picking another language, you might be hurting. But yeah, you're pretty good for Japanese. Like if you're trying to learn Latin, you're fucked. You might be able to get Harry Potter translated into Latin, but very few things are translated into Latin. All right, they translate out of Latin, not the other way around. Some of the other, like, if you're trying to learn like Arabic, there's not as much stuff in Arabic. You know, I mean, it's the nature of the language. But when if you find stuff that's been translated into Arabic, it's probably going to be Western media, or you know, you might find a show that's enjoyable. Yeah. Then same idea, but with Arabic, kind of similar with Russian, I assume. And you got to get over that one. There's probably some type of steep hill that you got to get over real quick. That you got to get over, and then from there you can start doing. You can either start with the active learning, active studying, and in addition to the immersion with lookup. All right, anyway, I've talked enough. Thank you all very much. This is Nuke Marine. I'll be back tomorrow with episodes 19 and 20. I'm getting really close to the end of this particular series, so it's going up to episode 26. There's like 60 episodes in this series, so I'm not going to go to episode 60. I'm going to watch it to episode 60, but that's going to be on my own time. After this, I haven't really prepped the audio, but I'm going to be doing Harry Potter. So what I need to do is I've got the audio already ripped from my Audible account, so I need to then split that up into the chapters so that I can follow them. Although I guess I could, let me think. I could do it in packs of 40, not packs of 20. There's no rule that I have to keep it by chapter, but it just makes more sense to do it by chapter. I'll think about it. I'll still probably do it by chapter. Yeah. All right, and that's The Prisoner of Azkaban, and so that's going to be over 3 parts. So it's like 3 different series. But then after that, I'm done with Harry Potter, and I've got some ideas for when we start doing dramas and books, Japanese books, because we've got lots and lots of choices when it comes to Japanese books with audio. If you go to audible.co.jp and look, you can see there's like 1,300 audiobooks that are 5-6 hours or longer. So I did it like anything under 6 hours I didn't count. So any audiobooks that are 6 hours or longer, there were like 1,300 came up, and I said in Japanese only. I didn't see if it was translated from English, but yeah. Yeah, so plenty of choices. Plenty of choices. And don't worry if it's not that one book you really want to read. Well, fine, find another book. Don't get this one-itis of when it comes to studying a language, like, oh, I can only do this one anime, I can only do this one manga. Just fucking drop. If you can't find it, fucking drop it and get another one. All right, don't be a baby about it. And it's gonna be just as good. All right, and you might find out you enjoyed it more because it was available. Cool. All right, yeah, I keep saying that. All right, that's it. See you tomorrow. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you all very much, and thanks for listening. Oh, let me say thanks. Thanks for watching. Cool beans.